Hello fam, hope you're well, hope you're good. If you're not, as I always say, take one day at a time. This is Mr. James, the decomposer and the synthesizer of math and science tutor. Guys, imagine if you are given this problem that says solve for p. If 3 to the power log p squared divided by 3 to the power log p to the power 8 all equal to 9. How are you going to solve that, guy? A lot of people might be like, how am I gonna do this? Guys, chill, all right? This is just an easy stuff. If you know the basics, you get. If you forgot some of the basics, I'm here for you. Okay, so we're gonna break this down for you bit by bit. Right now, check it out. You are given a fraction, all right, and on this fraction I can see that I have a numerator, which is the one above the division line, and I have the denominator, which is the guy below the division line. You see this line here? It's our division line. The one who's that person who's under, we call him what? Denominator. The one above, numerator. And then everyone here, they're all equal to 9. Okay, so how are we going to solve this guy? So you have to check something. I see that I have 3 as my base, log as my exponents. So this is gonna make my work a bit easier. You know why? Because I'm gonna remember some of the laws of the exponents. Okay, so one of the laws from the exponent says that if I have James to the power m divided by James to the power n, all will be the same as James to the power m minus n. So when you're dividing the exponents of the same base, when you're doing what? Dividing the exponents of the same base, which your base is j and your exponents is basically m and n, it says that you must keep your base j, and then you're gonna do what? Subtract, minus your what? Your exponent. So the exponent that is always above the division line is always gonna minus the one that is under. Okay, so when you take this guy above, he's gonna become minus. When we take m under, he's gonna become minus. So it's always the opposite. Okay, when you're shifting these exponents around. All right, then now how are we going to apply this guy here? So remember, 3 is my base, everything is a log. So I'm going to say 3 as my base. I keep my base like I did here. And then I'm going to say log p squared, all right, minus log p to the power 8. So I have now applied the law of exponent, all right, all equal to what? To 9. Isn't that good? It's good. All right, then from there, what are we going to do? We got to try to solve this guy now, because we have applied the laws of exponents, but there is also another thing that you guys must remember. How do you solve logs, okay? Or how do you simplify logs? So you gotta remember some of the properties of logs, okay? So one of the properties of log says that log j a minus log j. Remember, j is the base, a is the product, okay? So log j a minus log j b all equal into what? To log j as your base, what? A over b. So remember something about logarithmic properties. When you are subtracting, the result is going to be division. When you are adding, if here it was a plus, we're going to say log j a times b. Okay, so that's what that's what happens with logarithmic, guys. These are one of the properties that you guys must remember. Okay, so I'm going to apply this guy on this problem. Okay, so now from here, how do I apply this guy? So I know I have log, okay? This is the log. So I'm going to say 3 to the power log. And then who's my base? If you can check, everyone here, look, log, base is the same p. Even here, log base is p. So I'm going to say log p as my base. Remember the exponents is like your 2, or your product is like 2 and 8. So I'm going to say what? A is my 2 and b is like my 8. So I'm going to say log p 2 over 8 equaling to 9. So I've applied this guy now. All right, I hope now it makes sense. All right, now from here, how are we going to get rid of the log? No, guys, don't worry about that. Whew, take a deep breath. Okay, so what you gotta do right now is to check this guy. This guy is Mr. 9. 9 is a very big number. Someone is thinking of, how about I divide both sides by 3? 3 is your base. This guy is an exponent. You're not allowed to do that. You got to apply the laws of exponents. So the laws of exponents says that you got to change this guy as a big number into an exponential form. Okay. If you don't know how to do that, guys, my advice is this. Just press 9 on your calculator. Okay, you must make sure that you use the smart calculator, guys. All right. You press 9, you press equals to, and then you're going to press shift, okay? And then you press fact on your calculator. Check fact, okay? And then after pressing fact, press equals to. You're gonna see what's gonna get. You're gonna get 3 squared. Even if it was 16, you say 16 you press equals to shift fact, it's gonna give you 2 to the power like 6, right? Or 2 to the power 4. Yeah, okay. So that's what you guys are gonna get. All right. So don't panic, guys. All right. So now let's try now to remember this guy called the inverse log, or the inverse exponent, or the inverse of functions. Okay, so we're gonna apply this guy here. So remember, after changing this guy, you're now gonna do what? Remember this guy here. If you have the exponent, if you are equating the exponents of the same base, okay, look, we are equating the exponent. This side is 2, this side is log p to the power 1 over 4. If you are equating these two exponents, one thing you must remember is that whenever the bases are the same, we eliminate the base, then we're going to be left with our exponents. So that's what Mr. James the decomposer did over there. All right, so we are left with what? Log p of 1 over 4 equaling to 2. All right, so that's what I've applied there. I hope here it doesn't really confuse you guys, okay? If it does, just share on the comment link there. All right, I got you. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We got you. All right, then now let's look at the continuation of the problem. All right, so now from here we have log p of 1 over 4 equaling to 2. What are we going to do? We're going to try to remember some of the inverse functions, okay, as I've shown you there. So we're going to have log j a equaling to b. All right, so this implies that James to the power b equaling to a. So guys, j is always the base, right? B is always the exponent, a is always the product. So I'm going to say j to the power b equaling to a. If you remember very well from functions, if you are trying to find the inverse of an exponential, if you have y equals to a to the power x, how do you find the inverse of this guy? Remember, you interchange x and y. Where I see y, I'm going to put x. Where I see x, I'm going to put y. And that's what I've done over here, okay? You can literally see a to the power y equaling to x. Then from there, you need to make y to be the subject of the formula. And how are you going to do that? You must call Mr. Log, okay? So you're going to press log of the base. Who's my base? A times x equaling to y. So this is what I've applied, and it's the same thing as this guy here. Okay, so that's what you guys must try to do. And then we're going to try now to remember, if I change this guy in this form, it's going to become what? P to the power 2 equaling to 1 over 4, which is that p squared equaling to 1 over 4, right? And we are asked to do what? To solve for p. How am I going to solve for p, guys? All right, let's take it down a bit. So now we're going to end up having we're going to get rid of 2, right? So how am I going to get rid of 2? I'm going to say the square root of p squared, and remember the law of math says that whatever that you do on the left you must also do on the right, okay? So and when I'm taking the square root, I'm always going to have a plus or a minus, and this is what I'm having. And if you check on your calculator, the square root of 1 over 4 is going to give you what? Minus 1 over 2, because of one of the values is going to be minus, the other one is going to become plus, like what I've done over there. All right, so those are going to be the two values of how to find your p. Okay, someone might say, is there any other method I can try to find p? Yes, you can basically take 1 over 4 to the other side. You're going to end up having p squared minus 1 over 4 equaling to 0. Then you're going to find the difference of two squares, which is going to give you p minus half, close the brackets, into p plus half, close the brackets. Then at the end of the day, p equaling to 1 over 2, or p equaling to minus half over 2. Okay, so those are the two answers for you guys. All right, so remember, the main thing was to say find the what? The value of p. So we were able to solve for p. If you guys have any other questions, I'm just right over here for you. All right, this was all that I have for you guys today. I hope people were able to learn more from this guy. All right, awesome.